Hello, everybody, and welcome to your weekly webinar from Squibler. My name is Moxie. Today, we're going to talk about some really helpful extensions that you can use with Squibler. These are helpful tools for writing, so stay tuned. We have a lot to share with you. So you're going to learn what these extensions can do for you. We'll take a look at how to find and install extensions if you've never used them before. And we'll take a look at some extensions that are especially helpful for writing, and some are even compatible with Squibler. So why should you be using writing extensions? These can help you save time. They can help you to focus. They can help you if you have a disability or if you're neurodivergent. And they can make you an even more powerful writer and editor. You may want to grab a cup of coffee and pause the video because this webinar is going to have a lot of great information, but it is dense. So we'll talk first about how to find extensions if you've never used them before. And you could pause your screen if you need to rewatch this video to look at the helpful guides here. You do want to use Google Chrome. It's very compatible with Squibler, and it's also very easy to get to Google's extension store. So to add extensions, you're going to go up to the top three dots on the very, very top right of your browser in Google. And then from here, you can go to extensions all the way down. When you are hovering over extensions, you'll have an option to manage the extensions you already have, or you can visit the Chrome store. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what this looks like. All of the extensions that you can use with Google Chrome that we mentioned in this webinar, you'll be able to search by name in the search bar here. And from there, it's very easy to just click OK to add it to your extension, as an extension to your browser. So that's how you're going to find and add those extensions. And this is another example here if you need to stop and look at it. Again, you'll go to the three dots at the top. You'll pull down to extensions, and then you will click on Visit Chrome Store if you need to visit store, or if you need to manage the extensions you already have, you can do that here. We're going to take a look next at how to pin the extensions so you have really easy access to them. Because once you put them onto your browser, they're not going to show up on the top. You can see here at the top of mine, you can see all of the extensions I've added, and they all have these little icons. If you want to make sure that they're pinned to your browser, so you can see them easily like this, and then just click on them to use them, you're going to go to this little puzzle icon. And this is where you'll have your list of extensions. From here, you can pin or unpin the ones you want on your browser. So you'll see that I have some pinned here, and then some I don't have the pin marked. The ones that I don't have pinned are not going to show up on my browser, but the ones that I have pinned that I'm going to show you today are available on the top of my browser here with these little icons. So that's how you're going to add your extensions, and then you can pin them as well. We're going to take a look next, after we've decided which ones we want, some tips for selecting your extensions. We're going to cover 5 types during this session, and we'll take a brief dive into them so you know what they can do for you. It's unlikely that you're going to need all of these, so it's better to focus on the ones that you think are going to benefit you the most. Otherwise, you're just going to junk up space on your browser on something you won't really need. You might even discover something in the Chrome store that we don't mention here that you find useful. So feel free to mention those extensions for writers in the comments of the webinar on our YouTube when this video is loaded, or on the Discord server in the resources library. So the 5 types of extensions we're going to take a look at are writing and editing tools. We'll take a look at productivity and focus tools. We'll take a look at research and inspiration tools, and that's really helpful for those of you writing nonfiction. We'll take a look at making sure you don't distract yourself during writing. There are some apps for that as well, some extensions for that. And then finally, we'll take a look at some writing assistance for writers with impairments or neurodivergence. So some of the most commonly used writing and editing tools are here, and that you can add to your browser. So Grammarly is one that is completely compatible with Squibler. It shows up within the app, so you can edit with it as you're editing. I'm going to take a look here and show you what this looks like. So my Grammarly tab is up here on the top of my application, but you'll see here in Squibler, it's already running for me. So I can click on my document, and it's going to show me with Grammarly what things are working here and are not working in my writing. And so as I hover over these sections, it's going to give me options here to edit my work using Grammarly. So for those of you who need to do some editing, looking for spelling mistakes or looking maybe for wordiness, you can do that. I'm using the free version. If you use the paid version, it will also give you pro subscriptions. So that's Grammarly, and it's probably one of the most commonly known web extensions that people use. The next one you can use is Power Thesaurus, and this is the icon for Power Thesaurus. So what Power Thesaurus can do is find for you words to replace other words here. Of course, you can do that within Squibler, but sometimes you just want a word. So let's say here that I want to find a synonym for crumbling. I can highlight the word and then go up to Power Thesaurus, and it's going to find for me a lot of synonyms that I can use here. And then I can just choose the one I want to use in my book. So I can copy it if I want to do that as well. So that's Power Thesaurus to help you find words and phrases that you might want to replace. The next one is Cami. I'm a big fan of Cami. I used it a lot when I was teaching as well because it's a powerful editing tool. A lot of you have expressed to us at Squibler that you do like to print out a copy of your book and then read it and edit it as well. Cami will allow you to do this without having to waste paper. So what you will do is install the Cami extension. It's got this K here. When I click on this, it's going to take me to the Cami page. You can continue with Google with your Google account or continue with an email account for a free account for yourself. I already have an account set up, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And it's going to open here for me. Once you've got your document that you want to edit, you can upload it from your computer or your Google Drive. I've already copied a poem that I want to use that quite a few of you probably know. I took Edgar Allan Poe's Annabel Lee poem. I just want to show you how this works. So it's going to open it for me in Cami. And from here, there are a lot of editing tools I can use directly on this document. So you can pretend that I've downloaded my book, or you've downloaded your book instead of Annabel Lee. And there are lots of things you can do here. You can mark up your document highlighter here with the highlighter function, and there are lots of different colors. So I can highlight things that I want to highlight. You can also add text or comments if you want to make comments for yourself. Just put some comments. And you can put comments here as well. You can also draw on your document. So for those of you that are familiar with editing marks, you could do things like this and take care of some editing that you want to do. This way you can look at this on your computer screen, or if you have a tablet, you can use your pen to write directly on your document, and then you can edit your work back in Squibler, so you don't have to waste paper. You can also download a copy once you're ready with your annotations. You'll go to the download function and export, and you can get a copy of your document with your marks on it as well. So that one's super helpful for editing. We'll take a look at some more here. Another one that's really helpful for those of you that may be auditory learners, that maybe like to hear how things sound, and a lot of people do, and especially our screenplay writers may want to hear how things sound from a voice, from an actor in their script. So what you can do in Squibler, once you have this Natural Reader app installed, it's the N up here, you can put your cursor where you want to have it start reading. And then I'm going to click on the Natural Reader app. You'll have this little sidebar show up that has play. And then when you click it, it's going to read your text for you. And we might come back to that one if it's not going to cooperate with me. Maybe kind of limited since I'm already on a call, but it will read your text for you, which is really nice. So we'll come back to that one. Anyway, if you want to edit your text by listening to it first or hearing how things sound, that Natural Reader will help very well. I think it's not going to work for me because I'm on Restream, already kind of using up my my bandwidth, but I recommend that one as well. Sometimes it's good to hear how things sound. We'll take a look next at Word Hippo. Word Hippo is not an extension, but I did want to share it just because I shared the Power Thesaurus. So Word Hippo is a website. And it has a lot of really helpful functions for you. So you can look for antonyms and synonyms here. You can look for phrases, but it will also help you find definitions of words. It can help you find rhyming words if you're writing poetry. So if I click on rhymes, and then let's say I click the word crime, it's going to find it for me. And then it'll give me a list of words that rhyme with it. I can also have it use words and sentences. I can get translations in quite a few languages as well. You'll see here there's a pull down list. So if you need to translate some words, you can get that as well. You can find pronunciations if you're new to that word and so forth. So I highly recommend this site as well if you need more intense help with certain words and phrases, antonyms, synonyms, rhyming words, use in sentences, and so forth. Let's see if I can get the natural reader to read this time. Okay. All right, well, that one's not going to work for me, so I'm going to have to move on to the next one. But it did work as I was testing this. I think it's just limited because I'm on Restream with you all right now. The next thing that you might want to take a look at for those of you who are doing research is Google Keep. This is one place to help you keep your notes and links in one place, but it's not just for nonfiction. Those of us writing fiction often find that we have to research things as well. So what Google Keep can do for you as an extension is keep all of your notes in one. Okay, and there's Natural Reader. It finally decided to work. So that is an example of how Natural Reader will work for you. I'm going to go to Reuters here, and we'll just take a look at some news from the U.S. maybe. We'll take a look at just a story on U.S. transportation here. When I click on Google Keep, this is, and I've got this installed as an extension. It's going to open up a sidebar for me where I can leave a note if I want to keep a website. And this happens a lot. We have websites we want to keep track of, and then later we forget why we saved it. So here I can put transportation and US. I could put a title if I wanted to, and then create a note. This is going to save my note, and then I can view it and keep. And then when I view and keep, it's going to keep track of all my notes. It's going to keep track of the website where I found this. It's going to keep my notes as well. I can pin them to my board if I want to do that, edit them if I need to. So it's just a good place to go and see where you've gotten your notes from and to leave notes for yourself as well. This may help you to generate story ideas as well if you're a fiction writer. If you find an interesting story and you want to save it, you can just save it to Google Keep and write notes for yourself as to why you've kept it. So that is Google Keep. We'll take a look at Pomodoro next. This is one of my favorites for keeping your seat in your seat. If you're one of those people that finds anything and everything to do other than write, this is one method from a noted sociologist who created this technique of sitting down and making sure you're staying in your seat as you're working. So what you'll do is install the Pomodoro app, and then there's a tomato here that's going to come up. You can put how many minutes you want for your session to take place. You have quite a few options here. You'll set your timer, and you can personalize it with a ringtone and so forth if you want it to ring a certain way. So it will let you know that you've stayed working and focusing for that long amount of time or however many minutes you need to be focused. So it's very useful as well. It can help you track your goals. So that's Pomodoro. We'll take a look at some other research tips and helps for those of you doing research. Google Scholar has an extension as well. This is really helpful if you do not have access to a university library or you cannot afford to pay for research outside of a library that has databases that those of us who are not in universities cannot access. So Google Scholar will find peer-reviewed work for you. So I've got this over here with Google Scholar, and I've got the extension. It looks like a little graduate with a hat on. And what's going to happen is the Google Scholar toolbar will show up. The Google Scholar toolbar is going to filter out things that are not peer-reviewed, that are not credible. So you could put things like U.S. transportation, since I've already started that. Safety, whatever your search term is, look for it, and it's going to find you some peer-reviewed articles that you can use here, and it will allow you to cite this for your references. It will allow you to read the articles if they're available, and so forth. And again, once you open one, you can always pin it to save it to Google Keep as well to keep track of your references. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this to my Google Keep article as if I'm pretending to write about transportation. So now I'll have 2 articles in there that I can keep. Okay, so that is Google Scholar. we'll take a look at our next extension. This is my bib. This is awesome for those of you who do not like the tedious work involved with your citations. My bib is going to correctly format your sources and references. So I'm going to go back to my transportation article here. And what I can do, instead of having to type up my own citation, is just click on my bib citation generator. When you first set this up, you have to set up the style. You'll see I have it in MLA. I'm currently working on a book where I'm using MLA, but you can change the style to any citation style you need, APA, Chicago, and so forth. From there, whatever page you're on, it's going to cite your source for you. So here it's already formatted my citation, and I can copy it, add it to my references, and so forth. So it's a very fast way to generate your citations. The next thing we'll take a look at is Zotero. This is more reference management. You do need to have a free account to use Zotero, but if you're working on a large project, it's really going to help you organize your research. So let's see here. Where do I have it on my? Okay, here we go. So if I go to my Zotero site, it's going to save this article that I've just saved to Zotero, and it's an application that does go to your desktop. So here, when I go into this application, it's keeping track of all these articles that I'm saving here. So it's got my transportation one and so forth. And I can organize my work here as well. So that's just another app to help you organize your research if you need. All three of those are super helpful for those of you writing longer nonfiction works. For those of you that get distracted as you work, maybe you start looking at too many websites, or maybe you get distracted by a large amount of text, there are some extensions that can help you with that as well. The first one is Just Read. This one's going to simplify websites for you. It's going to remove any pop-ups and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and click it here. And you'll see it's going to get rid of all these sidebars for me, so I can just focus on the text that I need to read. It's very helpful for those of you that may get sidelined or distracted very easily to find what's important in that document. So, and then you can click it again to get back to the original format. The next one is Forest. Forest is similar. It will allow you to create a block list of sites that you should not be visiting. So let's say that you know you're going to waste time using social media. You can block those sites as you're working. Click on Forest, and it's going to keep away the forest, the trees, so you can see the forest as you're working. So again, very helpful for managing your time and keeping focused. For those of you that need some writing assistance, maybe you're sensitive to blue light, or maybe you are working, on a computer in your day job, and then you want to come home and write, and the blue light may be too much for you. There are some tools that can help you. One is Dark Reader. If you have to do a lot of reading, a lot of research, Dark Reader is going to make your pages dark here. So this is Dark Reader. I'm going to go ahead and click it on. And it will make the background black, so it makes it easier to read and eliminates some eye strain. So that's Dark Reader. We also have something similar in Squibler that can help you with your writing. When you go up to mode, let me take the Dark Reader off so you can see this. I'm going to turn Dark Reader off. When you're in Squibler, you can go up to mode and put on night mode. This will also eliminate some blue light for you if your eyes are sensitive or if you've been on your screen for too long. So just some more tools for you to help you, if you're sensitive to light. The next ones we'll take a look at are some assistance with dyslexia and perhaps ADHD. So it is difficult to read and write if you're dyslexic, but there are some free add-ons, some extensions that can help you. And one of those is called Dyslexia Friendly. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my transportation page. Hopefully it will work here. If not, you know what, maybe I should go to Google. Again, just want to make sure. So I'm going to go to Reuters and to Google's main page again, and we'll look at Dyslexia Friendly. So Dyslexia Friendly, this application, again, I've attached it to my, my web page here. You'll open it, and then you can click Enabled. And there are lots of different ways to use this. You'll see here it's already changing my font for me. I can select if I want Open Dyslexic, Comic Sans, or Open Dyslexic Mono. I can select my font. I can choose the color for the ruler that's going to show up. So I'm going to go with a lighter one, maybe yellow, a little bit brighter. And that's going to help me track. The ruler will help me track, as you'll see here, as I'm reading through. Also very helpful for our dyslexic writers and readers. You can also change the opacity and size of the ruler to help you if you need. So all of this is very helpful for those of you that are maybe struggling with dyslexia. And finally, there is this last one that is very helpful for those of us who may have ADHD. This is called Stay Focused. Like Forrest, it's going to help you block sites that might distract you. So those things like Instagram or Facebook or anything like that that might tempt you to go get away from your writing. These will block those sites for you, so they won't even show up. So there is some writing assistance also for those of you that prefer speech to text. That can be very helpful. The first one is Voice In. Voice In is also free. And while it's not ideal because you have to copy and paste your text into Squibler, it is free. And I want to show you how that works. So I'm going to use Voice In here by clicking on the icon. A box is going to come up. You're going to record yourself. This is a tool to help you write. So, and then I can stop. I can copy my text here and then just paste it into Squibler's editor if I need to. So I've copied it here, and now I can paste it into Squibler. No. Maybe I didn't copy it correctly, but it'll paste in there as well. And there is another form, another version that is 100% compatible with Squibler that can help those of you that need speech to text, but you do have to pay for this one. It's Dragon. It is available on sites like Amazon and so forth. And it is a voice-to-text dictation program that you can use directly in Squibler's editor for those of you that need extra assistance. So these are just some of our extensions that we found that are super helpful depending on what your needs are, what your goals are. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about what these extensions can do for you. You've learned how to find and install them, and you can freeze your screen if you need to stop and take a look. And you've learned about some extensions that are compatible or can help you accentuate your experience with Squibler as well. Thank you, as always, for joining us. We love having you all here. Let us know in the comments if there are any other extensions you found that you found useful.